my name's Miranda and today I'm here to do my February and March book wrap-up. I haven't been reading as much lately, so I just decided to combine the 2 months rather than doing just two little short ones. I've been reading a lot. It's just turned into like a lot of fan fiction online. Like I've been reading so much Clance fan fiction, Bughead fan fiction, Andrew and Neil fan fiction, so like I've probably still read a decent amount of hours. It's just less books than usual. But anyway, looking at February, the first book I read, speaking of Clance, was Voltron Legendary Defender, and this is volume 1 of the comic series that they put together, and man oh man guys, I love Voltron. I'm currently working my way through season 2, and I was super excited to get this comic book because it's actually from the people who do the show, so it is very in canon. Like, it takes place between 2 episodes that we see, so like it just feels like a little extra episode, and it's so great too because you kind of get to see more of the Paladins, I feel like, than you do sometimes in the show, because I feel like the show so far has a very heavy-handed kind of grasp on Keith and Shiro and Allura. I feel like they get a lot of the attention, but in this comic you also get to see like inside Lance's thoughts and inside Pidge's thoughts, and it was just really cool to kind of see how they work and how they think and operate within the team and think of the team. That was really cool to see, and it definitely, like, it felt so canon. It is canon, but like it just felt literally like watching another episode, except this time I was reading. So if you're a fan of Voltron, highly encourage you to check this out, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. After that, I read Topher Academy, A School So Bad It's Criminal by Lauren Magaziner, I think is how you say the last name. And this book, I'm gonna be honest, I literally picked up just for the cover, because the cover just like looks so cute and so awesome and like a school I would want to go to. And it's about this boy who's kind of like, he just disrespects his parents, he doesn't behave, and he's kidnapped because of it and taken to a school for criminals because he's supposedly like bad and, you know, he's gonna be the perfect criminal. But as he starts going to school there, even though he's good at the stuff that's happening, he realizes that maybe he doesn't want to be a criminal and be a bad person for the rest of his life. And then it kind of turns into more of an escape thing of discovering the secrets of the school and figuring out a way to get out that won't leave them dead or tortured. And I think it was just really cute. It's a middle grade book, so it does read a bit younger, but I just think it was so like funny. I love books that like take ideas and then really work with the concepts. So like they had spy things, but then they had like ridiculous names for like all these spy things, and it was just so really cool. And I don't know if there will be a sequel. There's definitely like the opportunity to be a sequel, but I'm fine with it ending where it is if it does. It was just a really cool, and there was also like a message to it, you know, like if you read it like in middle grade, like you're gonna get a message from it. So I ended up giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. After that, I read another middle grade book. I don't know what was happening, and that was the Jolly Regina by Karen LaRue, and this is the first book in the tale of the Bland sisters. So I picked this book up basically because it looked hecka cute and it had such a Lemony Snicket feel to it. So it's about these 2 sisters, Jaundice and Kale Bland, and they just live incredibly boring lives and safe lives ever since their parents just disappeared one day. But all that changes when they get a knock on their door one day and a pirate comes and kidnaps them and takes them on the Jolly Regina. And the funny thing is, with this, it's like such an adventure tale, but with 2 main characters that want nothing to do with the adventure. So even as all this cool and kind of dangerous and amazing stuff is happening, they're just more worried about getting back to their house and like doing their thing, eating their bland potatoes and stuff like that. And like I said, it had such like a dry, sardonic humor to it, you know, like the Lemony Snicket kind of thing, that I really loved it. And it's the first one in the series. The drawings are amazing, and I'm super excited to see what's going to happen because, like Lemony Snicket, not to always compare it to that, but it kind of ends with the idea that the universe we have is going to expand to be a lot bigger than what you originally thought. So I'm excited for that, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. After that, I read Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty, and I read this because I've been watching the HBO miniseries that just wrapped up, and I wanted to read the book before I finish the series, and I was really happy with it. Normally with stuff like this, I feel like I get disappointed, you know, like I was disappointed with Gone Girl, disappointed with Girl on the Train, just kind of those stories about like women who seem to have it all, but then there's like fractures behind it. But this I felt like was super impressive because it felt, I guess, the most believable out of everything. Like it literally felt like reading someone that like you could see on the street and like they have these secrets that not necessarily like are as crazy as Gone Girl or Girl on the Train, but are something that you can more relate to. And I really, really like that. So I have a whole review on the book if you're interested in checking that out. I'll leave a link to it down below. But I ended up giving it 5 out of 5 stars, and I'm really excited to read more of her books. So if there are any that you like particularly, please leave them down below, because I think my friend said What Alice Forgot was not worth it. I should skip that. But if you have any recommendations, please leave them down below for me. After that, I'm continuing on with my read-through of a series of unfortunate events. Like, I don't remember exactly which books I read, but then I read some and I'm like, oh, this sounds familiar from when I was little. But right now I read The Vile Village, which was so amazing. I'm so glad that they're going to be adapting it for the next season, because I feel like it's just so, like, it reads exactly like I could picture it in my mind as a TV series or something like that, or a movie. So like the fact that we're getting it is going to be so awesome, because this is about the Baudelaires. They get sent to this village that's called VFD because they think it's going to help them uncover the secrets of VFD, but they find out that it's actually just a bunch of crazies that are like obsessed with crows and stuff like that. But it was really, really cool, and I think it made the first deviation, I feel like, where the Baudelaires were taking their journey and their destiny into their hands, and were no longer going along and just waiting for Count Olaf to show up. They were trying to be proactive, and I really, really like that change and how that's going to affect the rest of the series. I also read The Hostile Hospital after that, and what's interesting is I didn't love that one as much, just because I feel like it was definitely like an in-betweener. Like, I feel like nothing too important happened. Like, we started to learn more about what potentially could be with the parents, could be with VFD and stuff like that, but at the same time, I don't know. I liked it because I feel like it was super intense, but I liked The Vile Village a bit more just because I feel like The Hostile Hospital made me more angry, which I guess, you know, like, I just get so sad for them. But again, I like that the direction of The Hostile Hospital was them kind of relying on themselves and being on their own and doing it themselves and protecting themselves. So I did like that. It's just that I think like if The Vile Village was like peak, you know, like peak best book in the series for me, I think like now we're starting to go down. So I gave The Vile Village 5 out of 5 stars and The Hostile Hospital 4.5 out of 5 stars because I'm not picky. Moving into March, I read A Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting by Jo Ballerini. This is an arc, and the book actually doesn't come out till June 17th, and it has a much pretty cover than this stand-in one. It has such a beautiful one. But this is basically about a girl who needs some money for a camp that she's going away to, and she agrees to babysit this kid on Halloween night rather than going to a party, even though she hates kids and she could care less about babysitting them. She just wants to, you know, be her middle school self and hang out at parties and stuff. But her night changes when the kid is kidnapped by an actual monster, and she discovers this league of monster hunting / monster fighting babysitters who have been trying to protect these kids for hundreds of years, and she joins up with them to try and get this boy back, and quickly discovers that she has a bigger part in all of this than she originally thought. I absolutely love this. I have a review on it that will be coming out shortly. It read to me exactly like just a Goosebumps, campy, Halloween Town, old school thing. And I mean, I think partially why I enjoyed it so much is because it reminded me of those movies from like growing up when I was like 6, 7, 10, you know, it reminded me of those. But it's also just a really cute book, and there are also going to be illustrations in the final copy. I didn't have any in mind, it just says art to come, but I feel like that's going to add a whole nother dimension to this, and it's the first in a series, so I'm really excited to see what's going to happen after it, and I highly, highly recommend you put this one on your list. This book just made a really weird sound. Did you hear that? My book farted. I highly recommend you check it out when it comes out in June, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And there you have it. Those are all the books I read for February and March. Not too many, like I said, but, you know, I've been reading a lot of fan fiction, so I read a lot of hours. It's just, you know, not a lot of physical books. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave the books you read this month and in February, any good ones, any super bad ones down below so I know to skip or read. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel down below to be told to make all sorts of new videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!